Precision agriculture has long offered grain growers the promise of using inputs more productively. But if the investment cost was previously a barrier, dizzying fertiliser prices are driving many to rethink.
So urea a couple of years ago was only $530 a tonne, and at the end of last year it was up to $1,200 a tonne. So the more expensive inputs get, the bigger the opportunity there actually is for precision agriculture, because you can actually target those inputs where you need them to get the biggest bang for your buck.
With GRDC investment, the Society of Precision Agriculture Australia has been assisting growers with precision fertiliser decisions in a tight economic climate. Around the country, growers and specialists have gathered to share their experiences using precision ag and variable rate technology at a series of face-to-face workshops.
So I was always interested in the variable soil types on our farm and how we could manage it better to get better results from our cropping program. We used to cut bits of paddocks off and put barley in or less fertiliser, but it was problematic, it took time, it was really painful. Then VRT came along, and that seemed like the solution to our problems.
Using variable rate fertiliser applications might not cut total input cost, but done right, it should see every unit of fertiliser land where it is most productive.
But we found in the last many years we've been doing it, our rates only really vary plus or minus 10%, but we're really allocating the fertiliser in the better places, so it's performing better in the more high production areas, so you can put more fertiliser there. And then in some of your lower production areas, you can actually drop your fertiliser rates back. So you're still using the same, but you're getting a lot better result. So for us in the lower rainfall zone, we don't want to load up a higher clay content area of the paddock with a lot of fertiliser, because they'll fall over in the end of the season. So you're actually minimising your risk of blowouts, as well as using it better up on those high performing areas and getting good results.
The big difference over the 10 years of Mick's variable rate journey is the help that's available. For him, there was a lot of Googling and a lot of trial and error. Today, specialist consultants are just a phone call away.
So when we started implementing it on farm, we did make a lot of mistakes. Put too high rates on some areas, too low on others, and then we got bad results in the yield at the end of the day.
My big tips for implementing variable rate are, first, choose a management issue that relates to your farm business, because if you have a specific management issue, you're going to have an economic incentive to make it work, because sometimes it isn't as easy as they say. In my experience with growers that I've seen, they start with the basics in 1 year, and then 8 years later they might be variable rating every operation on the farm and collecting all sorts of data that helps them make more informed decisions.
Mick's learned the lessons, and after a decade of work, it is paying off.
Been doing VRT for quite a while now, and one of the biggest things we're getting, best results we're getting, is our paddocks are really evening up. So instead of having a really low performing part of the paddock looking really horrible for part of the year, it's actually quite even all the way through a paddock, and it might have 4 or 5 soil types, but they're hard to pick those soil types now because you're using the fertiliser and seed rates a lot differently than we did in the past.
Now reaping the rewards for his years of hard work, Mick wanted to help other growers on their VRT journey and stop them from making some of the same mistakes he did.
I wanted to be involved in the VRT workshop because it's something I've done for a while, and it took me a lot to learn from my own experience at the time. Didn't have a lot of information or help out there, and I just wanted to share my experience so other people got to get a little bit of insight before they started, or help them along their journey into VRT.
Growers in Western Australia are really good at bringing the science and then putting that practical application together. And I think today at the workshop, that was a really great part, that we had representatives from all aspects of this, from the growers, we had the researchers who are designing some of these software models, the actual machinery dealers who are selling the equipment, and the consultants that help the farmers make the decisions.